All right, welcome back, everyone. I do want to, as a programming note here, just kind of let you know, if you hear a bit of a buzzing, which I don't think we can hear it just yet, but if you do, we're going to take the studio shot right now. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties.
We have a fourth guest today.
Yeah, we have a fourth guest today. This is the Whisper Hybrid AC unit here. We're just trying to pump things up. As I mentioned to you guys earlier, wearing the Goat Hill Park Golf Club t-shirt here because it's a little steamy in the studio today. Abbie Black here joining us as well too. We're going to get to her in just a little bit, but if you hear it, just wanted to let you know that's why. But something else that is heating up here in San Diego, of course, the talk about driverless vehicles. San Diego's first robotaxi is rolling around town ahead of its big debut. Waymo is already giving rides to employees here in America's finest city, and it plans to open up to the public later this year. Our Abbie Black got a ride along last week to see what a driverless car is all about.
As our Waymo arrives at Balboa Park, a Waymo rep shows us how to hail one from her app. Only employees can do it now in San Diego, but we can input our initials, which beams from the roof.
And it's going to magically change up top, and that's how you'll be able to distinguish your Waymo from another rider's Waymo.
As we get inside, we're greeted by an electronic voice.
It's great to have you on board.
There's a button for the door and seat belts, and it's as if there are invisible hands on the wheel. Off we go from a busy day at Balboa Park to Hillcrest.
A lot of congestion, cars, pedestrians, cyclists.
Using the sensors on the outside of the car, it's ingesting all this information to make real-time driving decisions to help us get where we're going.
The Waymo navigates around construction. Someone's walking their dog across the crosswalk, and as we approach a stop sign, I see a U-Haul in our blind spot.
It has 360 vision, and it can see up to 500 meters away in all directions, day and night, and various weather conditions. So whereas you would have to look both ways before you cross the street or before you proceed, it's constantly seeing that.
But what about ambulances, police, or those stories where a Waymo stops on train tracks?
While the Waymo driver is in control of driving the entire time, there is basically what we call fleet response, which basically is like phone a friend. So if it notices something's wrong, they can support the Waymo driver and help give it context clues so it can continue on its way. If additional steps are required, rider support will help guide the rider in those moments.
Waymo says it plans to launch in San Diego later this year, covering more than 40 square miles, and will keep expanding.
So we'll take you to popular destinations like Pacific Beach, Mission Bay, and then, of course, Little Italy, and then all the way down south towards National City or a little north at Logan Heights.
The Ojai isn't officially wheelchair accessible, but it's spacious enough to fit one. From the screen, you can control the temperature, recline, music, even talk to Gemini.
I understand. I'm happy to chat. What's on your mind?
As we ended our ride, people flocked to the car asking questions and taking pictures.
We go to San Francisco all the time and we take this all the time. It's my husband's favorite.
All right, so I didn't want to tee you up here, Abbie, so to speak. But 10 years ago now, which I cannot believe that is a phrase that I just mentioned. 10 years ago, I got a chance to ride in one of these, and my memory escapes me because I do know that there's been some consolidation, but I believe it was a Google company, a Google subsidiary. I'm not sure if Waymo is still a Google Alphabet company, but regardless, I drove in a riderless car powered by AI and all of the early technology that we had going on. It felt so herky-jerky. I was the very early, it's like the Wright brothers, the flight that lasts 15 seconds. And then, so you told me that it was an excellent drive.
I mean, this was
so it's amazing to hear that in 10 years, things have gotten better.
Yes, and you just can imagine what it's going to be like later. I mean, we are in their new car called the Ojai, which is this roomier van type thing. It seems like a little miniature electric VW van. Very roomy inside, smooth riding. You know, their other cars they launched with were these Jaguars. In San Diego, they're only going to have the Ojai. When I got in, I said I thought it was kind of safer than my own driving because, when there's blind spots at your stop signs and you kind of have to inch up. Well, this didn't. There was a U-Haul blocking us, and we didn't even have to inch up. I'm not saying puppy dogs on rainbows here. But
I was going to say, there's obviously a huge discussion surrounding this industry, this budding industry, in large part because two factors: jobs and safety. And you talked to, obviously, the Waymo rep about that. So what did they say about concerns about safety? You mentioned that it felt like a very safe ride.
Yeah, and we didn't have any hiccups in our ride at all. So, I wanted to be fair in that reporting in that sense, but I also want to bring up, these other issues and maybe not controversies, but other questions and criticisms that have come up with Waymo and other autonomous vehicles as well, is that, a lot of people are in labor groups are fearful that this could take jobs away. They were like that with Uber. And we see that with tech. But there's got to be someone that's got to feed the tech, right? And we also have people that have to maintain the vehicles. You have someone who there's support as well during our ride, since we were doing kind of a ride along and we had to stop and get some video going inside and outside. We had to stop for 5 or 10 minutes, and someone from support would actually call, and the intercom in the car the support would say, "Hey, are you guys okay? Do you need help?" So we had that as well. So you do have those jobs, but they say, those aren't those driver jobs. But, I think when we look at this, there's going to be jobs, maybe fewer jobs in that sense, in that area, but people still got to feed the tech here.
Well, I mean, I already did a 10 years ago. Now let's go ahead and do a 13 years ago. I remember when Uber was getting started in Tallahassee, when they were trying to break into that market, and you had the taxi union or the taxi representatives, because a lot of them are, private contractors, but essentially their organization, their association was pushing back on Uber because they felt like it was going to take jobs.
And they're still
so
fighting
is this just, exactly
the Waymo, even
so now it's Uber
taxi
drivers
and taxi
drivers fighting Waymo. So it's essentially, it does seem like every step of the way that there is the threat of jobs, at least. But do we really see jobs going away? I mean, you mentioned that there are still maintenance, there's still, someone has to drive the car to get it to learn and stuff like that.
Yeah. And, what we kind of saw with Uber, a lot of these taxi drivers then became Uber Lyft drivers as well. So I think it's just this evolution of new tech here. I was explaining to Bexley, my 4-year-old, and you probably have to explain to her, telling her about my story. And she was like, "What? There was no driver." And we're like, "Well, that's what it's going to be like. You may not even have to get your driver's license." She goes, "Well, I want to get my license." I said, "Well, you may not have to by the time you're 16 years old." So, I think it's just kind of maybe not putting the cart before the horse, because you can do some of these predictions, but I think let's just see kind of how it rolls out, because Waymo isn't the only autonomous rideshare service that's going to be out there. We know that Elon Musk is working on one as well. There's other robotaxis, so we'll just have to see how that.
And I do want to also get to what some of the reaction was. I mean, it has to be kind of jarring to get out of a car and someone say, "Hey, can you take a picture of me with the car? Can you take a picture?"
I mean, we're in Balboa Park, so we had a lot of people. I mean, we had older folks that were stopping and taking pictures. We had younger folks. I mean, we had these group of kids, and we wanted to respect them. So, they asked not for us not to get video of these kids, but they let the kids climb into the Waymo, and they were like, "Oh, this is so cool." Cool. So it was really cool to see this multi-generational reaction to the Waymo, something that would just seem so futuristic when we were kids, that it's actually happening and it's out there.
Yeah, there's reasons to be excited. There's reasons to be concerned, of course, because as you mentioned, new technology is exciting to think about, but it's also important to consider what is it replacing. So in terms of the timeline, we've been hearing this was happening at some point, but we're not entirely sure when that official start date is, correct?
Correct. I mean, we've seen the Waymos out there. Chris, you had mentioned you've seen the Waymos, is it testing? I'd seen them out there testing, but this right now is only available to employees. I've kind of pushed them several times. Give me a timeline, a date. They will not give me a date. We know it's going to be sometime this year. Is it going to be at the end of the year? I've read in other places that it might be by the end of the summer. So we'll just have to wait and see. But they said download the Waymo app now, so when it launches, you're ready to go.
Do they? I'm sure there's finishing touches of some sort. I think that's just the general term that I'm going to use. But did they say specifically why it is, what is left to do?
What are they still doing?
Yeah.
No, they didn't. But, I'd ask them as well is, what have you learned about San Diego streets? Any different than what it is like in San Francisco or in Los Angeles? And they said, no, they really are these similarities. It doesn't really know, I'm in San Diego and I'm driving, it just knows crowded streets. It knows construction. And so, I tried to ask them as well as, what were some of the mishaps that were happening during testing. They won't disclose that. But when you're thinking about very congested streets down in Pacific Beach in the summertime.
Yeah.
Balboa Park. I mean, I like that we were in Balboa Park, and the rep that was with us was like, gosh, it's a busy day. I'm like, well, that's perfect for this ride to show pedestrians, cyclists, drivers, and how the Waymo can react to that.
And I mean, you mentioned like the blind spots. I think of here in Kearney Mesa, just pulling out of the station right now. We've got so many cars that are parked on the street. You're sort of just like taking a chance.
You're inching and inching. You're like, whoa.
And then inching is dangerous within itself because you become more of a bigger target. Sitting duck. Yeah.
That's my number one gripe about Coronado. So that's what it makes me wonder too. It's like, if you're going in and you don't have that, it's not a 4-way stop sign and you got to take a right. You got to be like halfway in the lane just to see if you have the clearance or not.
Yeah.
So what that looks like, of course.
Well, and I'm glad you guys brought up these two areas because they are not in their initial launch. So maybe they are working out those kind of things as well.
True.
So their initial launch, it's going to be a 40 to 50 mile square radius. So it's going to be from Pacific Beach out to Normal Heights, down to Logan Heights, and then, like I said, like up to Pacific Beach. I said, well, what about Kearney Mesa, the Convoy District? There are tons of restaurants and bakeries, lots of drivers, lots of pedestrians. And they said, it is in their plans, but not in their initial launch.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Well, look at us. We're
All right.
We got our eye right on the ball.
Yeah. That's
we
awesome.
should give them call if they need any consulting.
Yeah,
there you
go. I'll test drive the Waymos here through the area. I'll be consulting.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, can we stop at Shanghai Saloon real quick?
Yeah. But like, what's so funny is my dad's 75 years old, and he took one in San Francisco, and I still hadn't even taken one yet.
I'm yet to take one
either. He still doesn't even know how to order his own Uber, And I'm like, but you were able to get a Waymo? Like, that's so awesome.
He just leapfrogged one step in the technology. He said, I didn't need to know that one. I know there's something else coming. I'm just going to wait for that.
Totally leveled up. That's awesome.
Okay.
Abbie, before we let you go, we do want to talk about tomorrow is a very special day.
Yes.
Yeah. This is something that we already had you in studio to talk about, but we want to continue that push. Working for kids. Of course, this is something that has been a tradition here for 3 years now. This is our third year.
We are on our third Giveathon.
Yeah. So what's going to be happening tomorrow?
Okay, so we're about to have a little pep talk in just a few minutes after this to kind of go over for tomorrow's Giveathon. But this is our third annual Working Fur Kids Give-A-Thon. Rady Children's Hospital, they have wanted a resident canine therapy program at their children's hospital for so many years. There's other children's hospitals that have had them. I was fortunate enough to go up to Rady Children's Orange County, and they've had their canine program for 5 years now. And so I really wanted to see it in action, how it benefits their patients. And it was remarkable to see in person a child who was being treated in the hospital, and the dog Wise came in and he got to play. He had a little medical kit with him, and he asked, can I give him a shot? Can I put a Band-Aid on him? And the dog is so unfazed. And that's what's incredible about these dogs training. I mean, while our volunteer therapy dogs are incredible and they have their purpose, these are working canines that are trained to be able to react and accommodate any type of patient, whether they are going in for surgery, whether they need help with their physical therapy. And so for the first 2 years, last year, with your help, you, our viewers, those donors, helped finally raise enough money to be able to hire 3 child life specialists, and we'll be getting 2 dogs from Canine Companions. The dogs are free, but I mean, when you think about it, you have to do their salary, you have to maintain the dogs. It's not just like you get a dog and you're like, okay, lickety split. I mean, having a dog, it takes a lot of investment. And so with this third Giveathon, we need to just kind of put that in the finish line. They would love to have more dogs. I mean, they're going to start out with 2, but you think about all the different types of units that are in our children's hospital, and not just within the hospital. There's satellite campuses, whether it be through counseling and therapy. The Chadwick Center, which helps treat children that have child abuse and domestic violence. And so I just think when I just tear up thinking about the impact of what these dogs are going to do. And so hopefully by the end of the year, they're going to get the 2 dogs in the hospital, or at least 1 dog in the hospital. But tomorrow is such an exciting day because I hope this can kind of put us in this finish line and then continue to kind of set the pace for the rest of the program.
And just so we have the hours correct, this is something that people can donate to from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what you have going, what your plans are for tomorrow. If you're looking for a time to donate, that is something that you are able to do throughout. I know our programming is going to be all focused on working for kids all throughout tomorrow. Anything exciting that you're looking forward to in particular?
I want to meet the patients and I want them to interact with the dogs just to kind of see those magical moments. And hearing from the staff at Rady Children's of what this could do, hearing from the patients and their families of, you know, while they may not have a canine now, maybe they have a dog at home and they miss their dog, and what this could do for them and what this can do for other patients as well. But it is it's full of energy. You know, it's a day that I look forward to. You know, I'm bringing my family in because I know they really enjoy that, and I'm just so excited.
Yeah, and you should be, because again, you're such a large part of it as well too, being able to champion this cause. And again, very rarely do we get to sort of say we are gonna like take on a cause. Like we obviously our news organization at Channel 8. We obviously have a lot that we do with the community, but it's always great when you get to attach yourself to something like that.
Well, and I love it. And, you know, I'm not trying to kiss anyone's butt here, but our director of content, Dana McDaniel, when she had heard that Rady Children's wanted this program, she says, we are going to get you a dog. Yeah. And look, it's 3 years later, and we're making this happen. And I love that that's been our commitment, that the first year we didn't raise enough money. We didn't give up. Rady Children's didn't give up. The second year, we finally, you know, launched what their goal was. And now, and we weren't done with that as well. We want to continue to help them and grow their program so more children at Rady Children's Hospital can get home sooner.
That's right. Okay. Well, Abbie, again, there is the information. Do we have an online link? Is it just going to be cbs8.com or?
It's cbs8.com/kids. So
okay,
yes,
perfect.
if you can't join us tomorrow, which we would love to, at least just chime in a little bit, get that energy. You want to feel good about your day, watch CBS 8.
That's
right now, you guys are going to have some guests on.
We're going to
as
have
well.
two different guest segments. We'll have
tomorrow.
all the information throughout our show tomorrow. So this is not the last time you're going to hear us talk about it.
Not by any means.
And so you can donate now if you say, oh, I don't want to forget about it. Donate now and watch us tomorrow.
Donate now and then maybe forget that you donated to now and then you donate again tomorrow.
Yeah,
exactly.
If there's any good time to get
happens
amnesia.
all the time. Yeah,
there you
happens
go.
all the time to me. Babe, I forgot that I donated. Let me do it one more time.
There you go.
All right. Well, Abbie, again, thank you so much for that. And we can't wait to watch all tomorrow. Again, talk with those guests here on our show.